Hello, 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 and welcome to Business Insights with Amit. And this is a very, very special show. In this particular show, we showcase some of the topmost business leaders in the world today. And I am really, really excited for today's show. This particular show I've put together because I want to introduce to you the top notch business leaders, the leaders that are making a difference in the world. And I want to give you the insights that they have so that you can make a difference in your business. So my name is Amit Ambegaonkar. I'm a business consultant. I am an award-winning author of the book Your Profound Success. And today I want to showcase a very, very special guest. And you will see that in this series of shows that I do, I bring in the top-notch leaders because they have the wisdom. No matter what their surroundings are, no matter what is happening around the world, they still win. So how do they do that? How do these people achieve the success that generally people dream about? What is the reason why they are successful? That's the whole point of me bringing together this particular show and presenting it to you. So if you are right now with us right now in this Facebook Live, or if you're live with us on YouTube, make sure that you put in your comments. And if you have any questions for our guests, make sure that you also share it with the audience right now, because you will get a chance to actually ask these questions through me to these powerful guests that are coming online. So let's get started with today's show. Now, today I have a very, very spectacular guest. And this particular individual, I've known him for a number of years now. And every time I speak to him, I get fascinated by the way that he speaks, by the way that he's achieving things. And he's just scaling up his business, scaling up people around him. That's, I think, one of his most fascinating value that he treasures and I treasure for him. So he is none other than a very good friend, an amazing philanthropist. He is a power leader and he is a very, very successful trainer. Please welcome Mo Hasan.
Hi, good morning, Amit. Thank you so much for having
Hello.
me on.
You're very welcome. It's totally my privilege to have you on the show, Mo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited you're doing this show. I tell you what, I've watched a couple of your episodes and watching the guests, watching like who's on and the things you're talking about. This show is very relative, very timely. So I appreciate you putting it on.
Excellent. Thank you, man. That is exactly the purpose, because at this point of time, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners need the help. They're exactly going through a phase where they want to expand, but they cannot expand. They're going through some struggles. So us speaking about these troubles, totally honestly, and, bringing out the truth in what's happening is really helping a lot of individuals. So it is amazing to have you on the show, and I'm so eager to hear some insights from you today.
Okay, excellent. Well, I hope I can provide something of value to those
Oh,
listening. That's always fun to
oh,
do.
oh, yeah. I'm sure it will be more than value. It will be amazing. I'm very sure about that.
Thank you.
All right. Good. So let's welcome. We have people already on our Facebook watching this live. So if you're watching us live right now, make sure that you put in your comments and say hi, hello to Mo and myself, and then we'll just acknowledge you. So Mo, what is the great thing that about this conversations is we start off with your introduction, but certain aspects that we discuss which are currently working for business owners. It might be something that you're doing in your business, something that people are doing in their business that they should be doing or should not be doing. So it's a mix of offering lots and lots of value, lots and lots of ideas to people who are listening. That's the whole purpose of the show. And that's why I'm so happy that you decided to join us. So first of all, I want to start off with let's start, I think, with you. I want to start with you. I want to hear about you. I mean, it's been an amazing journey with you. Our friendship has really meant a lot to me and Swapna. So you've been really an amazing friend. First of all, a best friend. So that's what I want to acknowledge first. You know, and here it is. Swapna is on the live here with you. She's saying hello.
Hi, Swapna.
Good, good, good. But I want to hear from you. Instead of me talking about it, I already know how powerful you are in terms of business world. And yeah, you're right now you're chairing a very, very powerful organization. I want to hear about that. So let's get started. Tell me more about yourself. What is happening?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I've had a very strange career. And what's interesting is that for many people, when I tell them about my career, like really, really tell them about my career, they think I'm lying. And then as I hear myself talking about it, I think I'm lying too. I'm like, is this made up? Like, who does this kind of stuff? Right? So because my background doesn't necessarily match my results, and
Hmm.
nor does my effort, right? Nor does the things that I output into this world actually match what I've been able to produce. I've been very fortunate that over the last 20 years, I've had a chance to train executives and managers all over the world, including many vice presidents at the World Bank, U.S. Lots of U.S. government officials, including at the Supreme Court. Great to see you too, Swapna. And there's been an opportunity for me to really teach a lot of people that are highly skilled, big leaders, global names, etc. And how I got there is because I've got a PhD in how to teach executives. No, that's totally not true at all. In fact,
I was like,
I
what?
actually
I
don't have
didn't know about that.
any. Yes, when did I get that right? I actually don't have any college education whatsoever. Right. So I think I took like one class eventually in my 20s for the heck of it. I took like a math class for no reason at all. But the reality is, I don't have a college degree. I don't have some sort of big, MBA behind my name or some Ivy League school that would have gotten me into the door at places. Yet my career reflects something that I've been very fortunate at, right? Like where I've been at many well-known establishments. I've gotten the chance to work with people that are my personal heroes, right? People that I admired on TV, and then I got to like be with them in the office, right? So
Nice.
there's something magical about that. And then along the way, I've tried to always be appropriate for my clients. And what I mean by that is I always felt like I wasn't good enough, right? Especially
Hmm.
as a young age. I'm teaching. Here I am. I remember I'm like, in my late teens, and I'm in a C-suite with a Fortune 50 CEO explaining to this gentleman how to use his technology, and I'm like. Yeah, like I'm trying not to fart in the room, right? I'm like, I think my career will end if I accidentally have like any sort of flatulence, right? So I'm just like scared, scared, scared. And so part of that fear was that I'm not good enough.
Right.
And what that really drove me to do is to master the things around me. So that way, when my clients asked me a question, I always had an answer. And it didn't matter what they had a question in. It was always like, hey, if you're in executive training, the expectation is you know your stuff.
Hmm.
Right. So even if there might be, say, with you in a session about technology and they have a question about something else, if you can answer that question, if you can be of value, well, gosh, I have found that for me, that additional bit of value proposition has opened many, many, many doors. And
Yeah.
it's made it actually easier and easier to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because there's not a lot that's new. It's like once you master the fundamentals of everything, now all of a sudden what you do becomes a much easier road to go down.
So true. So true. Awesome. And that's so amazing that you're saying that, Mo, because the role that we play right now, it's not necessarily, when we go in as experts to teach our clients, to teach our audience, they're not exactly sometimes looking for what they want. They might need some other things in order to achieve their goals. And the funny part is, the things that they need generally hide from them, right?
Right.
And when we show them that, oh, you know what, this is, how about this, like we just encourage them to have a look at areas that they're trying their best to ignore. Right?
Right.
So it's really amazing to see these wows being created with what we teach people and what you're doing for people. It's really incredible because you're really not just looking at what you're good at, you're looking at the overall human being. And that's a critical part of why you get that level of success. So amazing, amazing, amazing. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Good.
if you had asked me, 15, 20 years ago, as I was doing the technology side of executive training, that I would one day be talking about emotional intelligence and spirituality, in a corporate environment, I would have said you're bananas, right? You're crazy. Like there's no way I'd be talking about this stuff because it was just like emotions were irrelevant in the workplace. And it turns out that emotional intelligence is actually the biggest barrier to success in business, right? So it's very, very fascinating what we've discovered. Thank you, Kula. Thank you, Swapna. So good to see you guys. Oh, I miss you guys. I gotta come to Toronto soon.
Yes, you should. You definitely should. Hey, Kula, thank you for joining. Thank you, Swapna, for joining in. Harold is here, one of our really good friend. He's also a really
Awesome.
powerful
It's all the way
person,
from
Harold.
Switzerland.
He's from Switzerland. Yes, thank you, Harold, for joining in. So Mo, that's amazing. I mean, you've been on a journey. What the stories that you've told us, from where you began and how you overcome your own challenges, and that's really important for the audience to know because social media is such a deceiving platform. Sometimes it could be people are showcasing how amazing they're doing and this they're doing, but beneath it, like you're showing the tip of the iceberg, but beneath it there's this whole difficulties and problems and challenges that we go over in order to reach the level that generally people see as success, right? So talk about some of the challenges that you face personally or that you see entrepreneurs struggling with. What are the challenges, especially maybe right now in the last year and a half around the world? I know where you are.
Yeah.
You are creating a universe where there is no restrictions in Miami. So kudos to you.
Well, what's fascinating, Amit, is you ask about the challenges of the last year and a half or so. And for me, what I've observed is that those challenges from the last year and a half are actually no different than the challenges from the 2008 housing market, from the 2001 tech bust, from the ta 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 ta. We find that these things are repetitive in nature. And in fact, there is the apparent challenge, right? There's what you think is actually the problem, and then there's the actual problem itself. So the apparent challenge is that most people are under the impression that there's a global pandemic underway. But if you actually use a magical new tool, it just came out, right? The other day on Google, you can buy it now. It's called a dictionary. And you look up the definition of the word pandemic, you'll very quickly realize that we're in hysteria, not in pandemic.
Yeah.
If you take a look at the definitions of a communicable disease, you take a look at what is, how the scientific method actually works, and you actually start reading the data set around you, you'll see very quickly that there is actually nothing going on that affects you directly until you've attracted the virus. And for the vast majority of people, that's his equivalent of a flu, right? And just like many other things, there are many other people that are passing away, but people pass away as a normal course of life. So we also have to look at the standard statistics around how many people pass away regularly and what is the deviance right now, right? Yeah. And we have to look at the entire data set, not just one or the other. So this is why there's an apparency to actually examine, and the apparency is what's being shouted on the news. Right? Like what appears to be is what's being shouted on the news. The actual problem is actually, I'm going to share a quote with you.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite quotes. It's a quote about spirituality, but by golly, every entrepreneur should really, really memorize this quote, internalize it, because it'll give you an insight like any other, okay? And the quote is this: whenever you think that creation takes time, your mind is aberrated, right? There's an aberration of the mind. Whenever you think the creation takes time, there's an aberration of the mind, right? Aberration, ABERRATION, meaning a deviation from design. Right? So it's like, as an entrepreneur, if all of a sudden you think that, hey, I want to create this product, I want to launch this service, I want to expand, I want to do this thing, but no, it's going to take me some time. It's going to take a while. It's going to take blah, 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 blah. As soon as you do that, you should just be very, very clear that you are now operating in a degraded state of existence, right? So if we could consider that existence itself exists on a gradient scale, that at a very, very low level, you have no power, you have no control, and you're basically as close to a solid object, right? People ask you, how are you? And you're like, what's going on? How's your weekend? Like, it's just like nothing. You're just like a fucking dead thing, right? Versus at the highest level, you're alive, you're enthusiastic, you're creating on a regular basis, right? You're creating whenever you want. You're creating your communications, you're creating love, you're creating every aspect of existence. So everyone else somewhere in between. that scale, right?
Awesome.
So with that being said, if you're sitting around going, oh boy, there's something wrong outside, that there's a physical universe consideration, a thought that now actually affects my life, when in reality it doesn't because you never actually took the time to examine for yourself, then all of a sudden you're stuck. It doesn't matter what's going on. I could have told you that I farted outside and it really is stinky out there. And you're like, well, I'm going to stay inside for 6 months because I don't want to smell it. It's the same level of nonsense, right? That you're taking an external factor and you're now actually limiting your own ability to create results. And so I think that one of the things to really look at is if you're finding that's true for you, I would actually advise that you examine your own life and look at where else are you stopped based on external considerations. What else do you actually believe to be true? And then take a look deeper to see if it's really, really, really true or not. I think that's
awesome.
Worth taking a look at.
Wow, Mo, love it, love it, love it. Well, Kula is definitely here. Kula is saying thank you for the great interview. Swapna is saying love the quote, Mo. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it is a really, really powerful quote, Mo. I love it. I definitely love it, and I love the concept of totally being at cause, or even being the source, no matter what the surrounding or the environment, the news and media is saying, because that essentially makes a winner, right? And what you're saying makes so much sense, because there are businesses who are in the same niche that have suffered a lot in the last 2 years, and there are people in the same niche, like we're not even talking industries, we're talking the same niche that have done so well, and the only difference is exactly what you talked about, right? What have they decided to do? Have they decided to be an effect and just lay back and say, oh my God, I'm not responsible, or they've taken that 100% responsibility and say, no matter what, let's do it.
Exactly.
So awesome. Love it, Mo. Thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. That is powerful. All right, good. So I'm going to show something here on our interview. There is a video of you that I want to share. It's just a 1-minute clip that I've taken because it's a clip where you spoke at one of the most prestigious organization called TEDx. So I want to show people this this particular speech that you gave at TEDx for it goes on for a minute or so more. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see this quick clip. Here is Mo.
Hi, I'm Mo Hasan. And I have the privilege of tonight having the opportunity to teach you about what has people stopped in their life and what has them not achieved the financial success that they want in their life. Just a quick show of hands, have you taken any steps in your life to forward your financial plan? Either starting a budget, saving money in an IRA, a 401k, a work plan. Sure, most of us have taken some sort of step. Now the next question for you don't have to raise your hand for, are you financially secure right now? Are you wealthy? And in this time, if the answer is yes, fantastic. Congratulations and well done. And if the answer is no, you have a lot of company, not just in this room, but you have company all over the United States and all over the world. So what's happening in the world? Why is it that we have perfectly intelligent...
I think I'm actually wearing the same shirt that I was wearing in that video.
That's funny. That's funny. And even the context that you talked about. When was this, Mo? How long ago was this?
That video I think is now like 4 years old.
I see.
And, this is a sign when you buy high quality stuff, it lasts. So that was one of 2 TEDx talks that I gave. I also read some poetry at another, and I've emceed a couple of them.
I see.
And here in Miami, we're getting ready to launch TEDx Miami. And so I've been asked to be an advisor on that, and I'm going to help out with getting that group up and running here.
I see. That's awesome. That is so awesome. And, the context that you talked about there in that TEDx talk is still relevant for today, so it's such a evergreen concept. to have.
Yeah.
So very, very, very well done with that. And
Thank
more
you.
in the meantime, I also want to share a book that I want you to talk about. And here it is. I want to show a picture of that book, and we will share that picture. And I want you to talk about what is happening with this thing right here. What is this? I want to know about this book right here.
Incredible.
Yes.
So this book is actually my life's work. Is the best way I could describe it. It's actually what the way I could really share it, Amit, is it's a love letter to myself that when
Wow,
I die and come back in another lifetime, I can read this book and get all the secrets of the universe.
that is
That's what the
amazing.
book. And so therefore, by extension, it's a love letter to everyone. It's like, hey, there is all of this amazing understanding and insights that are available to you, so that way you can unlock your life, right? You can actually live a life of your own happiness, your own choosing, your own design. And unfortunately, the data that's available is hidden from us,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's hidden inside thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of text, when really we could just extract just the beautiful, practical, applicable truths and apply them in life. And that's what this book is really about. Is
Wow.
it's all the things that for me were a game changer, like just like the were the Oprah aha moments, right? So it's that's what it is. Or another way to think of it is these are things that I learned. And by the way, my definition of learning, and I think Amit, you probably have a similar definition of learning, right? Learning is the process of deleting bad data and remembering what you already know, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what this process has been. And so it's like reading a wide variety of sources, some popular, some not so popular, some abstract, some esoteric, some
Yeah.
wherever. But what I found is that the truth resonates across religions, philosophies, concepts, and the truth holds up whether you're alive today or you're alive 500 years ago or 500 years into the future, that all of this would be applicable.
Wow.
And so I've been working on the book for a number of years. And so I finally made a cover to give it even more reality. And
Yeah.
then I'm working actually to now extensively test these ideas with friends, with clients, with students, with right. So just taking my time to make sure it has all the gems in it. So that way it's a body of work that I think not only would you read once or twice, but you might possibly even read 10 times, because every single time you'll be looking at your life with a different lens, right? With a
Mm.
different point. And I think when you apply this data different times in your life, you'll find that you'll produce more and more results, because I've had the same thing, right? It's like I can take one tool that works, like the quote I just shared earlier, right? About creation taking time and the mind being aberrated. Boy, when you could do that when you're, trying to paint a wall, create a piece of artwork, right? Create an exercise regimen, have a conversation with a loved one, all the
Yeah.
way to creating a business. It's applicable across the entire board.
That's true. That's true. Wow. 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 So when is this book coming out?
I have not selected a release date. I have a woman, a very powerful woman, who's actually serving to coach me through the process, and she suggests that I have it out by 2022. Right, which is
Okay.
a wild contrast from my previous books that I wrote in 3 days each to
Yeah.
exercise like operational excellence.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Awesome. Good. So this is so much value. I mean, looking at a business, looking at life, and taking a totally different viewpoint of being cause and being source, and not getting swayed by what's happening around, but actually being in the position to help more, which is really a powerful viewpoint more. So thank you for sharing that. That is truly incredible. That is truly incredible. Good. So you shared about your book that's coming up. What else? Like you told me about an organization that you're associated with, and you are a chair for that organization for your chapter. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Sure, absolutely. And this is actually one of my favorite activities in life. I really enjoy well, actually, I enjoy all my life. My life is very fun. But this particular one is interesting because I have a soft spot in my heart for high performers, CEOs, founders, and investors. Right? Like that group of people have a tendency to think differently, be different, etc. And in the past, I've been very fortunate to run other peer-to-peer CEO groups. And so when I got the opportunity to join a group called the Global Leaders Organization, GLOW is what we call it, Global Leaders Organization, it was something where there's a few things about it that were different, right? One is most of the CEO groups I joined in the past, it was really full of just old white men, which is nothing wrong with old white men. Most of my clients are old white men, like it's fine. But I didn't really feel like it was a diverse group of, say, tech startups to this, to that, right? It was kind of like traditional businesses, traditional stuff, traditional thinking. And it's fine, but just not exactly what I was looking for. I wanted something more. What I like about GLOW is that it's focused around 3 pillars of community, right? Bringing people together. And I actually serve as the Miami chapter chair. So one of my responsibilities is to throw fun events, right, for the business community and bring people together. And so in Miami, we have awesome fun events. Our next one's coming up on June 17th, Wednesday in Wynwood. I'm at a place called the Lab Miami, which is a nice co-working space. It's super cool, and they have indoor-outdoor space, and we're gonna have a couple of hundred people there. And that's right, I said a couple of hundred people, because it is Miami, and that's how we do it. Right, and we're gonna have DJs, and we're gonna have music, and we're gonna have bar, and we're gonna have liquor sponsors, and we are gonna do all the Miami things and make very fun events. So the community part is great because, a lot of my success in life has come from relationships. Right, not from advertising. If you don't hire me to do your social media ads, don't hire me to not my area of expertise, right? But boy, I could teach you how to have a communication with another being, right? And to build trust and to build a relationship. And so what I find is that networking, that person to person connection is just one of my favorite things to do to help facilitate that here in the city of Miami, to introduce locals and visitors alike, right, to each other, and connect the community of bankers and private equity to tech startup to cryptocurrency. I mean, we have a huge diverse scene here in the entrepreneur scene, right? So I love doing that. And then we have another portion of it, which is about commerce, right? Helping our entrepreneurs, helping our investors really do business with each other as well, right? And opening up circles and opening up networks. And then the third part is helping entrepreneurs raise money, right? Whether you're in a seed round or Series A, Series B, wherever you are, right? You're building a prototype to an MVP, whatever stage you're in, we have resources available to do that. And GLOW is an organization where, there's income requirements for minimum income, there's performance requirements, experience requirements, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not really looking for the very, very new founder, right, to join. We're looking for someone that's gotten running, and then now they need a little help to continue running. And so I love that group. And it's great because as the Miami chapter chair, I also know that I'm a part of a bigger team that includes celebrities like Pitbull and Akon and Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. And there's all these other people in it that are just additional resources that are available. And then when you think about like resources, I mean, like I think one of the scariest things to do as an entrepreneur is pick up the phone and call somebody, right?
Yeah.
And that somebody is, say, like a C-suite executive at a Fortune 500 company.
Awesome.
Well, what's great is at GLOW, I pick up the phone, I call somebody at GLOW, and they pick up the phone and call and make a warm introduction for me for any connection and relationship that I need. Right? So all of a sudden, it makes the world very, very small, right? And it gives resources that are expansive. So, I highly encourage anyone that's not a part of a CEO group, take a look at what's out there. Find a group that works for you. Find a group that's full of people that match your style, your needs, et cetera, because it makes a huge difference. Because, like, let's say that Amit, you were going to fire one of your VPs, right? You can't exactly talk about that in your staff meeting. Right? Or let's say that you're going to exit your company. You probably shouldn't mention, hey guys, I'm thinking about selling the company, because next thing you know, everyone's putting their 2 weeks notice, right? So you need a safe space to talk about your problems in an environment where people that actually know what your problems are can help you solve them. Nice. And that's as a resource that's priceless. Right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's so true. Like the whole business idea is based on relationships. And you've shown that in terms of not in just in terms of business, but even personal relationships. Like even with our friendship, with our network that we have, Heather is here right now with us. She's joined the Facebook Live again, an amazing friends of ours. And these are all the amazing friends that we've gathered over the period of years and really build these connections, and helped a lot of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs while we are growing our own networks. So this has really been an incredible journey. So I totally appreciate you giving so much value. Now, you mentioned communication, Mo. Can you let's talk about a quick tip or some insight that you can share about communication specifically. What would you share that will help some entrepreneurs and small business owners in that area?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you a little anecdote from yesterday. Okay, I was out at a Bitcoin conference, NFT party, art slash DJ slash. It's Miami, right? There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. And we're at the bar, and of course, people are making introductions to each other. What do you do? Where are you from? All that other stuff. And it's amazing how many people don't have the ability to actually answer a question directly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in communication, this is something that we commonly refer to as a communication lag or a communication delay, right? From the point when someone asks the question to the point where someone answers the question, what is that time period? So if I said, Amit, what do you do for a living, right? Or what do you do in your business? And you said, well, 20 years ago, I was really stressed, and my wife was mad at me, and we were not sure if we were going to last. And then you're just like you're talking, but you haven't actually answered the question yet.
Yeah.
Right. So one thing that I would recommend is actually listening for what is being asked, and then answering exactly that with precision, like surgical precision accuracy, right? And so what I mean by that is if you think about like surgical precision accuracy, that means that we're not going to take a hammer to it. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that our communication is received on the other end. So I'll oftentimes hear someone say, I'll say, what do you do? Or what's your business? And they'll say, well, I'm into lots of stuff. And then they start talking about 50 things. And at the end of it, the only thing that I'm clear about is this guy or girl has no freaking idea what they actually do, right? That's the only thing that I'm clear on. And if you happen to be multifaceted, if you happen to be a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman, and you have multiple professions and multiple projects, right? And I'm someone who has multiple projects, even though mostly I do nothing, right? I still have multiple projects. What's important is that you answer the question based on the context of who's asking it.
Mm.
If I'm speaking to a tech person, I'll answer the question in the context of something tech related. If I'm speaking to a CEO, I'll answer it CEO related. I'm speaking to someone in private equity space, I'll answer it in the money space. Right? So it depends on the person that I'm answering, but I provide a surgically clear, accurate answer. And it has to be delivered in such a way that the message is received regardless of the environment. So if you're at a conference or you're at a bar and you're talking like this and you're like, hi. Oh, and I'm good at business and I do some consulting. Can you hear me? Okay. What the heck, right? Speak up, articulate. And if you need to, practice by yourself. And how you know you're speaking well enough is you're speaking so loud you annoy yourself without hurting your own ears. Mm-hmm. That's where you should start. Anything shy of that, people probably can't hear you. And you know what? They're not going to correct you. Yeah. What they're going to do is they're going to take your mumbling, whatever they made out a couple of words or two, they're just going to put you on the back burner, right, in the back of their mind, and then they will start speaking.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Versus if you deliver the communication clearly, that communication, if delivered well, can be very brief, and then that person will be interested in what you delivered because you delivered it so well, right? Like one of our mentors, Raymond Nair, and he calls it nailing it. Yeah. Right? You got to nail your answers. You got to be like, boom, this is it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not nailing your answer, and I don't care if you change your mind what you do every day, when you go to answer that question, you nail that freaking answer. And you'll find that all of a sudden you'll produce much better results. People will remember who you are. They'll remember what you do. And they'll remember you from conference to conference, event to event. Even if you don't remember them, they'll remember you. Awesome. And that's really kind of the point of branding anyways, right? Like what are people saying about you when you're not in the room. So be loud, be in their face. Who cares?
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true because I love the concept of the soul communication and being very, very clear on what you communicate. Because it's all about the person that you're talking to understanding what you're saying, right? So that's why this connection, when you talked about when you're speaking to someone, see the context that they are listening to. So it's so relevant. I love it. I love it. Mo, thank you for sharing. It is actually so simple, right, that it's too powerful.
Right. Yeah, and boy, you could really, like, when you go to a conference or you go to a meeting, like any sort of networking meeting, and you just start using as a very simple checklist for yourself, did this person actually answer the question? Did this person deliver the message clearly? Did they actually articulate it? Next, do you think they understood the words that were coming out of their mouth, or were they just saying things? Right?
Yeah.
Um, you'll find that the list of those people that can deliver that is very short.
Yes.
And so, in any room, regardless of your experience, regardless of your financial success, regardless of your past, in any room, you can easily be known in the room because of clear communication.
Absolutely.
And I'd say if you're not working on your communication, then you should probably work on dying, because that's where you're headed. So,
Yeah. That is so true. And this piece of communication that you shared can really be applied to anything. It could be applied when you even hire people into your company. If you're looking for business partners, it's the same thing, right?
yeah.
Because what you talked about, principle of communication, that really is applicable to any partnerships that you do. Any
I
person
can't
that
even
you
be
decide.
friends with people that don't communicate clearly. They
Yeah.
annoy me. I just can't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Wow, wow, wow. That's so much amazing things that you've discussed, Mo. I love it. I love it. Love it. Good. So what is one more question, Mo? What is happening with you in terms of the next steps now? Where are you taking it from here?
Okay. So, my ultimate goal in life is to have nothing at all, to have nothingness.
Hmm.
And I've been able to experience this in brief moments. And I'm looking to expand that as much as possible, right? To expand that. And in order to do that, there are things that I want to do in activities in addition to having the nothingness, right? Because I also chose to play the game of existence. So I also like having some things to balance out the nothingness, right? To have both sides of the equation. So what's next for me is actually getting a captain's license. I've been driving a boat for the last couple of years, and a year ago I started to learn to sail.
Oh,
And I've been driving
wow.
a 38-foot sailboat, which in meters is 11, 12 meters. I don't know.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow.
And so sailing has been, and boating has been a huge passion. So I'm looking at a transatlantic sailing trip. So any of my friends watching this broadcast, if you're interested in a transatlantic sailing trip, please do let me know so you can start training for it, and we'll make sure we can get along in close quarters for a long period. In addition to that, I'm looking at making a contribution to the business community here in Miami in such a way that it unifies, strengthens, and expands the business community.
Hmm.
And right now, the business community here is sort of siloed off, right? We have a huge Latin American international banking community. We have a tech scene. We have a cryptocurrency blockchain scene. We have, and then the real estate development and and hospitality, right? And all of these arenas of business are all segregated and really operate in silos in Miami. So what
Hmm.
I'm looking to do is unify industries in the city using management groups. So using Glow and my influence with Glow and expanding our Glow network to have members across all sectors, as well as being involved with the TEDx Miami brand so we can continue to bring radically innovative ideas here to the city and continue to be a proponent for progress in the world. And then, in addition to that, a major project that I'm working on is actually in the private equity space. I just joined a firm as a partner in the private equity space. And there's a couple of projects that are near and dear to my heart. first is a full service, ultra luxury real estate development project. So Amit, imagine living in a place that's super beautiful and nice and aesthetically amazing and uptone and all
Yeah.
that other stuff. And you don't have to do laundry, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to do grocery shopping, you don't have to pay your bills, you don't have to all of those things are handled for you so that you can focus on your work. Right.
Nice.
And we're really looking at this as creating spaces, co-living spaces for those that are change makers in the world. Right. So that'll be another luxury community development project. And it's, artificial intelligence, robotics, growing our own food on the property, and, lots of other beautiful things in that. And then
Wow.
another project is called Impact Academy, with the purpose of creating a cradle to grave education solution for this planet. And
Okay.
so those are the major projects in addition to
Wow.
the book. And then I'm also working on my speaking career to get that to the next level, and get to basically what I'm looking to do is have my speaking career alone afford me my next life of luxury, right? Like a super duper life of luxury, and I'm only working a couple hours a month giving talks and doing that. So
Wow, I'm just fascinated by the number of projects that are coming up for you and that are in the pipeline. That's
but
crazy.
these things are not hard work.
Yeah.
These things are creation. Right?
Mhm.
These things are just creation. I'm not digging holes in the ground. We have robots to do that, right? Like we
Yeah.
have teams of people to do the things. And, part of it is creation itself, right? If when I think about what I used to think about creation, I had this misconception that creation was just something that I like, it's a brief moment in time, right? I have to like make this thing now. And if I didn't make it now, then I screwed up.
Yeah.
The reality is, like, if you actually take a look at what's true, you'll find very quickly that there is no time. There is no past, there is no future. Or in fact, you could even consider that all of existence is happening right now. And so you can continue to create and create and create, and you're very, very welcome to co-create with yourself. You
Mhm.
don't need other people, right? Take a creation you made whenever, and then keep creating on top of that creation. And you yourself can be your best lover, your best friend, your best co-creator. And it's just something to consider
It's
when you're thinking
definitely.
about whatever you're doing.
Wow, that's a whole new level of conversation, Mo, and I love it. I love it because the mentors that are in our lives, the people that are in life, we are working with these people, with these mentors to really promote this idea of how creation really works. So I totally I can see the viewpoint that you have, and I love the truth that you just put forth in this particular interview. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for
You're
bringing that up. And I really thank you for your time today in this particular interview, Business Insights with Amit. I love the value that you share, and I love the direction you're going. I mean, here people are, looking to scale down. They're looking for restrictions, and you are here, venturing out in different areas, which is amazing. I love it. And I'm definitely looking forward to have a couple of projects that we are going to be doing together. I'm excited for that. Looking forward to that very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. All right. So again, Mo, thank you for coming in. Anything that you want to offer as your last tips, last shares, anything that before you go you want to share with us?
What I'll share is that it's a good idea to pick a couple of things in life that you want to be really, really amazing at,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you can spend a lifetime mastering. And I want to give you three things to take on. Okay.
Okay.
One is to master money, like master investments, to learn how real wealth works, not the nonsense garbage you see on Instagram, right? Like
Yeah.
what is real wealth? It's not Ferraris and Lamborghinis, it's freedom. Right? So how
Mm-hmm.
do you get to freedom? That's one. Number two is actually to master communications, to make it a point in your life that you will forever, ever, and ever work on your communications.
Mm-hmm.
And then number three is actually to gain control of your own emotional state, as well as being able to be with the emotional states of others, right? The more you can increase that ability that your employees are angry, your significant other is mad at you, but if you can be upset without the emotional charge. Right? This is very, very clear. Right? Upset without that electrical activity there, that causes you to make bad decisions. Right? You can experience fear without the charge. You can experience anxiety without the emotional charge. Right? That as like a first level creates an incredible amount of freedom and ability. Right? Your ability to be productive, your ability to be loving, your ability to be present, like all of your abilities rise when emotional charge goes down. So I would say that those are three things well worth spending the rest of your life improving.
Wow, 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 Mo. That was such a powerful tip that you gave. I mean, I was thinking, okay, the interview is almost over, but you put in that last one in there, like, whoa. Oh my goodness. Totally, totally, totally awesome. These three things you mentioned is truly, truly, just mind blowing. I mean, if people can just look at these three things and just make something out of this, like whatever gradient they can, right?
Yeah.
Whatever level of gradient they can understand and start to put, okay, what in communication? Let me take communication. What area of communication am I really doing good at? What area I'm doing bad at? Just look at that area and look at minute little improvement, and it's going to result in a mega change, So wow, Mo, thank you for bringing that up and sharing that powerful insight. And thank you for joining us today for this particular interview again. I'm looking forward to speaking to you very, very soon again.
Thank you so much. And for anyone who wants to connect with me online, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as the Mo Hasan, TheMoHasan. So looking forward to connecting with you guys. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mo. Thank you for being on the interview.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for the interview, Business Insights with Amit. And we had a very, very special guest. I mean, the nuggets that he shared with you today are really powerful. So you can go back and listen to this interview and take some notes. Like even at the last moment, he gave us three things that you can sort of just take and run with it. So this particular show, Business Insights with Amit, is a show that we're going to have every Saturday at 10 a.m., delivering so much value, not from people who are just talking, but people who are actually delivering results in the world right now. And I'm going to bring you some really powerful business leaders that will help you to grow your business and improve your life. So my name is Amit Ambegaonkar, and the way to contact me is you can go to my website, yourprofoundsolutions.com, and make sure that you check out some of the programs that I'm offering right now. There are some free trainings. There is a book that you can download. All these amazing gifts I have for you on the website. Make sure that you go there and make sure that you mark your calendar for every Saturday at 10 a.m. because I'm going to bring some powerful leaders on an ongoing basis so that it will help you, your business. So connect with me. My email address is amit@yourprofoundsolutions.com. Connect me through LinkedIn, Facebook, and I want to help you grow. I help you succeed in your business and your life. Thank you so much for joining in. This is Business Insights with Amit. I will see you again next Saturday, 10 a.m. Bye-bye.